Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Sometimes, the moments that stay with us the longest aren't the loud ones. They aren't planned, staged, or announced. They happen quietly, almost invisibly, and yet they linger in the minds of fans long after the clip ends. That's exactly why this simple New Year moment between Lee JunHo and YoonA has become something fans can't stop rewatching. It wasn't a grand celebration. There were no fireworks centered on them, no dramatic confession, no obvious spotlight. In fact, if you weren't paying close attention, you might have missed it entirely. But those who noticed it felt something different. Something genuine. Something unscripted. As the new year arrived, the atmosphere around them was calm, warm, and surprisingly intimate for a public setting. While others were focused on the countdown, the noise, or the cameras, JunHo and YoonA seemed to exist in their own quiet bubble. Not isolated, but comfortable. Not distant, but unguarded. Fans began replaying the moment because it didn't feel like acting. It didn't feel like fan service. It felt like two people sharing time, naturally, without thinking about how it would look later. Lee JunHo has always been known for his composed presence. He's attentive, subtle, and rarely overdoes anything. In this moment, that side of him was especially visible. His posture was relaxed. His expressions weren't exaggerated. When he glanced toward YoonA, it wasn't quick or performative. It was slow, thoughtful, almost instinctive. YoonA, on the other hand, carried her signature warmth. She smiled easily, not brightly for the camera, but softly, as if responding to something only she noticed. Her body language was open, comfortable, and free of tension. There was no sense of awareness that this moment would later be dissected frame by fans around the world. And that's what made it powerful. As the New Year countdown approached, the space between them felt smaller, not physically dramatic, but emotionally noticeable. They weren't leaning in for attention. They weren't avoiding each other either. They were simply present, side by side, sharing the same moment in time. When the countdown ended and the new year officially began, reactions around them were loud and celebratory. But JunHo and YoonA's reaction remained understated. No exaggerated cheers. No sudden movements. Just a quiet exchange of glances, subtle smiles, and a shared understanding that this moment mattered, even if it was small. Fans later described it as feeling too real. And that's not something audiences say lightly. What made this moment resonate so deeply is that it aligned with what fans have observed about them for years. Both JunHo and YoonA are seasoned professionals. They understand cameras. They understand public perception, which makes it even more meaningful when they allow themselves to be human in front of everyone. There was no script telling them how to react. No cue to smile or gesture. And perhaps that's why fans felt invited into something personal without it ever crossing a boundary. Social media quickly filled with comments pointing out tiny details. The way JunHo slightly adjusted his stance to match YoonA's. The way YoonA looked at him before looking at the countdown. The way neither of them seemed rushed to perform a reaction. These weren't dramatic moments. They were human ones. And in an industry where so much is polished and perfected, humanity stands out. For many fans, this New Year moment became symbolic. Not of romance in a dramatic sense, but of connection, of comfort, of two people who have shared long schedules, intense projects, and public scrutiny, finding a quiet second to simply exist together. Some fans said it reminded them of celebrating New Year's with someone familiar, someone safe. Others said it felt like watching two people who didn't need to prove anything to anyone. And that interpretation speaks volumes. Lee JunHo and YoonA didn't try to make the moment memorable. That's why it became unforgettable. As the video clips circulated, people began to notice how often they returned to the same few seconds. The same glance, the same smile, the same shared silence. It wasn't about discovering something new each time, but about feeling the same calm emotion again and again. Rewatching it felt comforting. And perhaps that's the heart of why this moment matters. It didn't spark rumors because it was dramatic. It sparked conversation because it was believable. Because it felt like something that could happen between two people who trust each other. Trust doesn't need to be loud. In the days that followed, fans compared this New Year moment to previous public appearances. They noticed consistency, the same ease, the same lack of performative energy, the same quiet alignment when they were together in shared spaces. And yet, nothing was forced. It's important to say that fans aren't watching because they want answers or confirmations. They're watching because the moment itself felt honest. It didn't ask to be interpreted. It didn't demand attention. It simply existed. That's rare. As a new year begins, people naturally reflect. They think about time, growth, and change. Watching JunHo and YoonA share such a grounded moment during that transition made it feel even more meaningful. Not because it symbolized something grand, but because it showed how small moments can feel significant when shared with the right person. There's something quietly beautiful about welcoming a new year without spectacle. About standing beside someone and not needing words. About letting the moment pass naturally. Fans didn't fall in love with a story. They fell in love with a feeling. And that feeling came from authenticity. In the end, this wasn't a moment designed to go viral. It became memorable because it wasn't trying to be. It reminded fans why they admire Lee JunHo and YoonA not just as performers, but as people. They didn't give fans a performance. They gave them a glimpse of real life. And sometimes that's more than enough. As the clip continues to circulate, one thing remains clear. This simple New Year moment didn't need explanation, confirmation, or commentary to matter. It spoke quietly and fans listened. Because the most unforgettable moments are often the ones that feel unscripted.